All right, I just want to start the recording. All right, go ahead.
Greatest comes back to back.
Okay,
30x squared
so 30x squared,
minus
6x.
is back to
Oh, you just want me to factor this?
Yeah.
Got you. So whenever you're doing factoring, right? So the first thing you should always look for greatest common factor, always, right? So GCF. So I heard 6, that's good. What else? No. What do they have in common? Like this is one term and this is another term. What do they have in common? X, right? So we have 6 and we have X, right? And then I want to know what's left over. So what's left over? Remember when I factor out the 6x, like I'm dividing by 6x, like I'm dividing by 6x, right? So go ahead. What is it?
5x
5x. Good. What's the next part?
6 divided by 30.
So a negative divided by a positive is negative. 36 divided by 6 is 6, and x will cancel out. This is your factor, and that's your answer.
Oh.
Yeah. And the homework is sometimes the homework might just want the GCF. So if they just want the GCF, then your answer is just the 6x. You know? But if they want like the full fact, like they say like factor completely, then it's this whole thing right here.
There's a couple one that said
Yeah.
just the GCF.
Yeah. And it might be wrong, yeah. Because you might be putting in the whole thing, but they don't want the whole thing. They just want that little piece right here. You know? Yeah, of course.
Y squared.
So y squared plus 2y. Uh-huh. That's it. So
Greatest common factor back to back.
got you. So what do they have in common?
Y.
Y, exactly. What's left over? Y plus 2, right? Because remember, it's like you're dividing by y, right? So this would be my answer. That's it. If they, basically what I did is I look for the factor, right? The greatest common factor in both terms. And that's it. Now, I'm not looking at the question, but if the question wants just the greatest common factor, it's just y. But if they want the whole thing, it's y, open parentheses, y plus 2, close parentheses, like that. Yeah.
6x.
Uh-huh.
Minus 9x.
Got you. You have another one too? So factor out the greatest common factors. Yes. Oh yeah, they want the whole thing.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. Yeah,
because it's marked as wrong.
Yeah. But they want the greatest common factor first. So you see like how I'm writing it here, like how I write y first and then yeah, like that. Okay, so for this one, right, I have 6x to the 5th and minus 9x to the 4th. What's the greatest common factor here? 3, I heard that. What else?
X.
Okay.
Does it matter? To
It matters. To what power? No. What do they both have in common? X to the 4th, right? You always choose the one with the lowest power, right? Remember, it's like I'm dividing by 3x to the 4th, like I'm dividing by 3x to the 4th, right? 6 divided by 3 is 2. X to the 5th divided by x to the 4th is no. How do we divide exponents? What do we do? Not plus 1. Or is this it is plus 1, but yeah, we subtract, right? 5 minus 4 plus 1. All right, and negative divided by positive is a negative. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And x to the 4th, x to the 4 cancels out. So that's just my answer right there. Got you. Well, that's why there's so many questions, just practice.
I got one.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
I got parentheses, x minus five square, x squared divided.
Like this. So what this means is it means x minus 5, right, times x minus 5, right? So then just FOIL it. First, x times x, that's x squared. Then next, I'm going to do x times the negative 5 here, which is negative 5x. And then I'm going to do the bottom, negative 5 times x is going to be another negative 5x. And then finally, negative 5 times negative 5 is plus 25. Right? Combine like terms, I'm going to have x squared minus 10x plus 25. And that's it.
So I was just doing it like 5 times 5, 25.
No, you gotta FOIL it out. Yeah. Anybody else? Any other questions?
Yeah.
Go ahead. What you got? Mhm.
Y
Uh-huh.
plus 8x y
Like that?
minus
That's it?
y.
All right, so what's the greatest common factor here?
2x.
2x, okay. I like that, I like that. So now what's left over? Remember, it's like I'm dividing by 2x. So I heard 3, good.
Is this,
Uh-huh.
and then plus 4x y.
What happened to the y to the 4th?
Plus
No. It doesn't cross out. It don't have nothing on the bottom there.
yeah,
Right? And then plus, and then what's next?
8, 4x y.
For what?
X, 4y,
For y, uh-huh.
8.
Negative 8. Very good, all right? 16 divided by 2 is 8. X and x cancels out. That's it. Okay. Anybody else? Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Got you. So for this question, just do long division, right? So this becomes x plus 3 divided by, well, no, is x squared plus 7x plus 14 divided by x plus 3, right? Just like that. And then just do it step by step. X goes into x squared how many times? Not 2. X times, right? Because in other words, I'm trying to ask you x times what gives it x squared? It's another x, right? So now x times x, that's going to give me x squared. X times 3 is what? That's plus 3x. Remember that I'm trying to subtract here, right? So x squared minus x squared, that cancels out. 7x minus 3x is what? 4x. Very good, very good. Bring down the positive 14. Now, x goes into 4x how many times? 4 times, right? So that's going to be a positive 4. And then 4 times x is what? Oh, 4 times, like 4 times 1. So that's like 4x, right? And then 4 times 3, what's that? 3, 6, I think that's 12. Am I right? And now, same game. I want to subtract this, right? 4x minus 4x, boom. 14 minus 12, what's that, 2? Right? So this is the quotient. This is the remainder.
What did you call that? I can't remember.
Which one?
The long division.
Long division? Yeah. Yeah, you have another one?
middle school.
You have another one from homework? You
I think I
did?
just never learned. I saw them do it. I was like, okay, just never
I learned-
learned.
I learned this one in this same class in high school, and like I just ran with this lesson. Yeah. Okay.
20 a squared.
Minus 35a. All right. And what do they have in common? 5 what? Good. All right. So remember, it's like you're dividing by 5a. Divide by 5a. Divide by 5a. All right. So what's the first term going to be? I agree. What about the second term? Good. Minus the last term? Good. That's it. Got you. Now the A's cancel out. Top and bottom. Any other questions?
Two x three minus two. Two. Positive 7x. Minus 24 divided by 2x2.
Like all of it divided by?
Yeah, all of that divided by 2x2 positive 5.
Like this? It is. So, same thing, long division, right? So denominator goes on the outside. Numerator on the inside. And just go step by step. 2x squared goes into 2x cubed how many times? What is it? No. 2x squared goes into 2x cubed how many times?
One time?
Not one time. Mhm. It's a variable I'm looking for. X times, right? And then x times 2x squared is 2x to the third. And then x times 5, right? What is that? It's like 5x here, right? And then we want to subtract this. So when I subtract this, these cancel out. Bring this down because this is like 0x squared. Right? -2 minus 0. -2x squared, right? And then we want to bring down next set of numbers here. One second. This is interesting. I'm trying to think what to do here. I'll just bring down the 5x.
So you don't know.
I think I'm gonna just bring down the 5x. Minus 5x. All right, so 2x squared goes into -2x squared how many times? Okay, not just regular one though. -1, right? -1 times 2x squared, this is minus 2x squared. -1 times 5, this is -5. Remember, I'm gonna subtract this. So -2x squared minus -2x squared cancels out. -5x minus, let's say 0x, right? Is -5x. Right? And then I have I'm trying to think though. This is like different polynomials. Should I have brought that down or not? I feel like this part shouldn't be 5x. Yeah, I feel like this should be 2x. That makes more sense. And then this would be positive 2x. And then I should bring down, I think, the sum of these two, which would be negative 29. Yeah. And then 2x squared doesn't go into that. So the quotient is the x minus 1. That's the quotient, right? But the remainder is the 2x minus 29. Over the divisor, which is 2x squared plus 5.
That will be the remainder,
Yeah,
2x.
2x minus 29.
This is not.
It's not in? Let me see. It's a good question. So you notice how you said 2x and this thing was 12x? Okay. Yeah. So hold up. Wrong question, guys. Wrong question. My fault. No. The question that was posed was wrong. Hold on. Let's take this back. It should be 12x squared right here. All right, let's try this again. 2x squared goes into 2x cubed how many times? X times, good. And then x times 2x squared is 2x cubed. X times 5, right? That's going to be 5x. I'm going to subtract this. 2x cubed minus 2x cubed cancels out. And this is going to be 0x squared. This would be plus, okay? So negative 12 minus 0 is going to be negative 12x squared, right? And then 7x minus 5x is going to be plus 2x. Now, 2x squared goes into negative 12x squared how many times? It's a negative 12x. So, right? So negative 6, right? Negative 6 times 2x squared, that's going to give me a negative 12x squared. Negative 6 times 5, what is that? Like negative 30? And then what am I going to do with that? I'm going to subtract these. So negative 12x squared minus negative 12x squared, that cancels out. Because remember, negative 12 minus negative 12, negative is positive, so it's just 0, right? And then we're going to have, bring down the 2x. And then negative 24 minus negative 30 is going to give me a positive 6, right? What happened? Negative 30 is from negative 6 times 5 at the top. So now the quotient is the x minus 6. The remainder is the 2x plus 6 divided by the 2x squared plus 5. Not too bad. A little complicated, but not too bad. Okay. Okay.
Minus 30 x plus 28 to the x third. So for the root of I forgot to say.
So not 6.
First one was 24.
Oh, sorry. Like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like 6 then. What else?
4x.
Oh.
What's it?
6x to the what?
4x.
But before we get to that, 6x to the what power?
30.
3, right? We always take the smallest power. So now you can divide each one by 6x cubed. So when we divide that out, 24 divided by 6 is?
4.
4. And then x to the 6 divided by x to the third is x to the, good. A negative divided by a positive is a negative. 30 divided by 6 is 5x. Good. And 48x cubed divided by 6x cubed is what?
8.
8 what?
8.
Okay. And that's it. Go ahead. Okay. 1 second. That's correct? Okay. So greatest common factor here is what? 5x. Okay, 5x what? Good. And then remember, it's like we're dividing by 5xy.
Yes.
Very good. Very good. I'm impressed. Very good. You just gotta type that in. So we good?
8x. Y. 12. Y. That. Y.
Like that? Okay. So greatest common factor is what?
4x.
4, I agree. X. What else?
2 was the 8.
Oh.
Y.
No, 4x what?
Yeah, that's what I have to why do we get trouble?
There's no letter in there. What do they have in common, these two terms?
X and Y.
Good.
Oh,
And remember, it's like you're dividing by 4xy. If you're dividing by 4xy,
that's 2x.
good. Plus 3, what? No, it cancels out.
3 to the Y.
I agree. Questions on that? Are we good? It was all last week's homework. Thursday's homework in particular.
I got one. I got parentheses 6 plus 5y to the fifth.
Like that?
And, yeah. Well, the 5 is on the inside.
It does. Like that?
And I got 6 minus 5 y to the 5th. So,
Like this? Okay. So that's like the difference of two perfect squares, right? So the final answer, cheating a little bit, is this. 6 squared minus square root, minus 5y squared, or 5y to the 5th power squared. This is 36 minus 25y, wait, 10.
I got 30. I don't know why I got 6 minus. I think I did it in like the wrong way, but I got 6 minus 36 y to the 5th minus 25.
Oh. So
What's that?
this.
So I got like parts of the answer. I don't know.
You could FOIL it and still come out to the same answer.
Times 6, so 36.
Mhm.
6 times 5, negative 30.
Mhm.
Y. I think I need like putting stuff wrong sometimes. I've been doing it right the whole time.
Yeah, I got you. It happens. Which one? Mm-hmm.
Why is it? Five. No, 20, yeah,
Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the greatest common factor? 8 what?
8xy. XY.
8xy what?
Oh, they both have. 7.
What do the y share? Remember, you always take the exponent with the smallest power. In this case, it's y to the 5th. All right? So it's like you're dividing by 8xy. Dividing by 8xy. What do we get left? Excuse me. Y to the 5th and y to the 5th. What do I have left? Well, 24 divided by 8 is what? Okay. What else? To the what? Mm-hmm. Y to the 5th, y to the 5th cancels out. Plus, what's 40 divided by x? 5? No. 40 divided by 8? Was 5, but we said 5. Okay, I'm sorry. Just hearing you. X and x cancels out. This is y to the what?
Second.
Good. That's the end of the problem.
Well, second. That's what I.
Mm-hmm.
Little bit smaller.
Mm-hmm. Everybody graduating. Yay. All right, anyway. Don't worry, our graduation is much more fly than that. So let's look at what we're gonna get into today. A lot of you probably remember how to do this, which is okay. We're just building off of the last topic that we had, which was factoring, or greatest common factor and grouping. So last time we spoke, right? We did greatest common factor, and then we did factor by grouping. Factor by grouping, we had 4 terms, right? Now we're dropping it down to 3 terms, right? Dropping it down to 3 terms. So I'm gonna have a trinomial. Trinomial means 3 terms, right? Where it's gonna, and this is how it's gonna look: x squared plus bx plus c. And no shock, what do I want us to do? I want us to factor this. All right. So just to fresh our memories a little bit, real quick. All right. If I have x plus 2 times x plus 3, which are the factors, right? That's gonna equal the product, which is x squared plus 5x plus 6. Right, when we go from factors to product, that's multiplying, but when we go from the product to the factors, that's factoring. Right, that's what I want to do. I'm going to give you guys products, and I want you to give me back factors. Okay. All right, the method that we about to do right now is called the AC method. Lovely. All right. But before we get to that, let me just build y'all up with some knowledge real quick. For the factors, let's say that I have x times m times x, excuse me, x plus m, sorry, times x plus n, right? What we do is we FOIL to find the product, right? You remember FOIL is just, let me get a color real quick. It's just the first, the outer, the inner, and the last, right? That's the FOIL method, right? That's how we get our product out. Right? And what we do is we look for 2 numbers, right? When I'm talking about the m and the n right here, right? I want 2 numbers that when I multiply them together, will give me my C term here, and when I add them together, will give me my B term. That's the goal of what we're doing. Let me go through an example with y'all, and then we'll talk about it a little bit, right? All right, so check this out, right? I want to factor this. So I want to factor this. I have x squared plus 11x plus 24, right? My goal here is I want 2 numbers that when I multiply them together will give me a 24, but when I add them together will give me an 11, right? What do you guys think? Right? So that's true. My answer is going to look like this. It's going to be x times something. It's going to be x plus or minus something times x plus or minus something. That's true. Let's talk about those signs, right? I have a positive 24. My C term is positive there. So what does that mean? That means that both of my numbers that I'm looking for here in the factors are either both positive or both negative, right? Because a positive times a positive is a positive, and a negative times a negative is a positive, right? So right off the bat, I can just write that plus sign right there and right there, boom, right? Makes my life easier. Right now, what I'm looking for 2 numbers to multiply to give me 24 and add up to 11. Which one? 8 and 3. That's good. So that's 8 and that's 3. That's it. That's all we doing here. Now let's say that you didn't see that, right? There's another way that we could also do this as well, right? For the 24. You guys remember that tree that we spoke about earlier, right? Prime factorization tree. You break this down, right? Let's say that you wanted to do 2 times 12, and you break down the 12 into what, 3 and 4? And then this gets broken down into 2 and 2, right? Bam. Well, 3 times 4 is 12, right? Yeah. So now you break it into the prime factors, right? The two numbers that I'm looking for, right? One of them has to multiply to give me 24, and then they also have to add up to 11, right? The two numbers that I'm looking for will be some combination of these prime numbers here, 2, 3, 2, 2. So all I have to do is I just have to play with it. So like, let's say I did 2 times 3, which is 6, and 2 is 4, right? So it's true, 6 plus 4, that's 11. But 6 times, oh shoot, that's 10, my fault. So we know that that doesn't work. What I'm talking about? 6 times 4, that's it. 6 times 4 is 24, but 6 plus 4 is a 10. So we know it's not that, right? How did I get the 6? I just combined the 2 and the 3, combine the 2 and the 2, right? 2 times 3, 6. 2 times 2, 4, right? That didn't work, right? Let's say that I put some of these together, right? How about 2 times 3, 6 times 2, 12? How about 12 and 2? Well, 12 times 2 is 24, but 12 plus 2, that's not 11, right? So you see how I'm just kind of playing around with these numbers here, right? For the 12 and the 2, all I did was I just combined these together. I left the 2 out. That's how I got that.
7 plus 4?
7 and 4.
No.
No. It's a combination of these numbers here, of the prime numbers. Right? So 8 and 3, right? So 8, I'm just combining the 2's together, right? Just combining the 2's together. 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8. Boom. And then 8 plus 3. Now that's 11, right? So that's the one that works.
Is there any other answer to this? That works?
Yeah, this is the answer right here.
No, I'm saying, is there any other?
No, that's it.
I
Yeah.
thought it was like you could find multiple.
Nah, there's one answer. Now, if you want to do this in your head, cool. If you are looking at it, you don't know where to start, use a tree. The tree won't fail you, right? You just got to play with the numbers to get the answer out. That's it. Well, let me let y'all try one. Some of y'all might be able to look at this low key and do it in your head and stuff. Like that's fine too. I won't penalize you if you do that. Try that out. I agree. That was good. Questions on that?
First one is always.
Right, exactly. So I want two numbers that multiply to 24 and add up to 10. Right? And that's how we got the 6 and the 4. Is this clear? Does everybody understand this? Or you guys want to see the tree again? The tree will always work, right? Coincidentally, I have 24 right here, right, with my tree. So all I have to do is figure out how to do it, right? So if we combine the 2 and the 3, that's 6. The 2 and the 2, that's 4. 6 plus 4 is 10. That's it. All right. Three numbers? What do you mean? Oh, like if it was q to the third power.
Yeah.
Nah, we're not gonna do that in this class. There's a whole nother formula for that. Maybe for fun when you're on your lunch break, you can look it up. But you'll never use it. So real quick, I know somebody probably wanted to see the notes, the steps on how to do this. This is the procedure right here. So factor the trinomial of the form x squared plus bx plus c, right? Step 1, write the factors as two binomials with first term x. So as you said, Sean, right? So we have x squared plus bx plus c. And we're gonna have x times x. Step 2, find two numbers, m and n, such that when you multiply them to C, right? M times N is C, and when you add these two numbers, M plus N, it gives you B. You write those numbers in, right? And then you use M and N as the last terms of the factors, and then step 4 is to check the factors by multiplying. So yeah, if we FOIL that out, we should come back to the same answer. That's it, in a nutshell. Questions on this? Good? All right. Let's try some more. By the way, this was a lesson for today, in case you're wondering, like, we're just playing around right now at this point. So let's try this out. A little bit harder, a little bit harder. My B term is negative. So let's talk about that, right? Right? I agree, we're gonna still have this same factor thing going on. That hasn't changed, right? But now I need two numbers that multiply to positive 28 and add up to negative 11, right? Now check this out. For me to get a positive 28, that means that both of my numbers are either positive or both of my numbers are negative. So this is that case where both of my numbers are negative, just like that, right? Could be. I don't know. 7, 10, 11, yep.
I only know this other problem. I said 7 before.
That's good. And that's it. That's the answer right there. Y minus 7 times y minus 4. Again, like if you're uncomfortable with that, use the prime factorization tree. Just play with the prime numbers until you get the answer. All right, there's no shame in it. I do it all the time. Oh, yeah. Exactly. You just distribute it out. Y times y squared. Y times negative 4 is negative 4y. Negative 7 times y is negative 7y. Negative 4 times negative 7 is positive 28. You add the negative 7y and the negative 4y, you get the negative 11y. That's it. You guys try with the u now, right? We got u squared minus 9x plus 18. As you can imagine, all I'm gonna do is just change these around, these numbers around. Go ahead.
Eight,
You say u what?
positive 6,
Well, let's see. 6 times 3 is 18. That's true. But 6 plus 3, it's not negative 9. That's positive 9. So what should it be? Right. Has to be negative over here, right? And now that's the answer.
both negative.
Right. Because a negative times a negative, that's a positive also. But also negative 6 plus negative 3, that's the negative 9. Yeah. So the signs matter here when we're doing these factors. Signs matter. But let's look at something real quick though, right? We're gonna have to use a little strategy on this though. It's a little bit harder. So I need to factor 2x plus x squared minus 48. All right. Listen, first things first, don't get scared. Let's rewrite this real quick, right? We all know, like quick conversation, we all know that 1 plus 2 is 3, right? And 2 plus 1 is 3, right? So it don't matter the order that I put it in, right? When I'm adding. So that being said, I can rewrite this with confidence. This is x squared plus 2x minus 48, right? Let's just rewrite it into something that we know how to do, right? But check this out now, right? I'm still gonna have the factors out here, just like this, right? We're still gonna have our x here, we're still gonna have our x here. but my C term is negative. So what does that mean? From multiplication, how do I get a negative number? Right. One of them gotta be positive and one of them gotta be negative, right? So I need two numbers that multiply to 48, and then they're gonna add up to +2. Check this out though, right? I'm gonna get two numbers here, right? One is gonna be big, one is gonna be small, right? How do I know which one is the bigger number, the positive or the negative? The positive one, right? How do you know that? No. The B term. The sign of the B term is the sign of the larger factor. Right? The sign of the B term is the sign of the larger factor here. Right? So let's look at 48. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know. Right?
What did you?
8 and 6. That sounds about right. 8 and 6. Right? That's true. That's true. And you notice how the larger number, the 8, that's going to be in the positive, and then the smaller number will be the negative, right?
Would it matter? The first question.
See? I mean, if you can look at it and know what to do, you can leave it alone if you want. For me, I like my quadratics or whatever, like my polynomials, I like them to be in descending order. So that's why I rewrite it like this. Yeah. But is there any questions on this? All right. If I didn't know how to do the 48, automatically I'd have went straight to the tree. And I would have just played around with those numbers to get the 8 and the 6. You know? Because I'll admit I don't know everything all the time. Sometimes I gotta do things, you know? You guys try.
It's probably a lot easier if you have like a chart of multiplication of like.
Sure. Sure. I haven't looked at that chart in years. I don't even know. Ever since I learned the whole tree thing, there's nothing you could throw at me that I can't figure out.
Oh, you do that, the factorization, there's stuff like this.
Yeah.
So,
For everything.
I got 63.
63? All right, let's take a look. So I'm gonna rewrite this real quick. This becomes m squared plus 9m plus 18, right? And then I agree, there's gonna be a factor here, m and m, right? So our 18, our C term is positive. So we're gonna have both positive because our B term is positive. And then I heard 6 and 3, right? Not bad. Mm-hmm. All right, let's take this up a notch real quick. Knowing all that you guys know so far, what do you think about this? So I have r squared minus 8rs minus 9s squared. What do we think? We already know the answer is going to be something like that, but what am I going to write? Promise you it's not that complicated. It's as easy as you think it is.
Be a negative sign. Or no.
Okay.
Negative.
Well, what's going to be the first variable? Like what goes here first? R. Very good. And then is it going to be, what is it? Positive, positive, negative, negative, or positive, negative? Which one? Positive. And what else? And negative? Okay. How do you know that?
I get it.
Oh, but what made you make that guess?
Negative.
Mhm. Because your C term here is negative, right? So one is positive, one is negative. All right, cool, cool. What am I gonna write over here? 9 and 1. Okay, where do I put the 9? Where do I put the 1? 9 first, so 9 right here. And then 1 right here. No. Was it reverse? That's right. All right. So 9 plus -1 is what?
8.
It's positive 8, right?
Yeah.
And what do I want?
-8.
So what should I do? Flip it, right? So that's the 1, and that's the 9. But hold up. I got another variable here. What happened to this? Oh, the S. What happens with that? Exactly. With the 9 and which other one?
The 1.
Exactly. And that's the factor. Right? So whenever I have a
Little bit like mental work.
yeah, a little bit. So whenever I have two variables, right? I'm gonna put the first variable in the first place, right? So we have r squared, so r and r, right? And then the second variable, which is the s in this case, is gonna be in the second place, s and s. And then you just have to figure out the numbers, right? Let's try out another one. A little bit easier with some A's and B's. What do you guys think? I'm gonna have this factor like this. So I heard A and A, very good. What else? I should also hear B and B. And then just give me the numbers after that. 10 and 1, okay. What's the signs? Negative what? Very good. And that's it, that's the factor. Not bad, right? All right, y'all, help me do this real quick. What's it gonna be? Let's see. You say U? So I got my U, I got my U, I got my V, I got my V, right? We agree? All right. So I need two numbers that when I multiply will give me a -12. When I add them, give me a -9. Yeah, wind is strong. What is it? Both negative? All right. Right. One has to be positive and one has to be negative, right? Because the only way the C term is going to be negative. But the larger number is going to be the negative though, right? Because the B term is negative. So what are two numbers that multiply to 12, -12, excuse me, and add up to -9?
You be living like an animal, that guy.
Oh yeah, man. I gotta work on my use.
I can't say that, but you see my hair. It's crazy.
So what do you think? I want two numbers that multiply to 12 and add up to 9.
6 and 2. No, but yeah, 6 and 2. So negative and a positive.
So -6 plus +2, that's -4, right?
Oh, it's gonna be.
That's true. No, that's 6. That's like +6 plus +2, but we have -6 and +2. Because remember, the larger number, and this one's gonna be negative. So what do we think? Not sure.
Yes, it is.
All right, this was a trick question. It's actually not factorable.
Wow.
It be like that sometimes. It be like that sometimes. Yeah.
So there could be a question, it would be like, factor if possible.
Yeah.
You'd be sitting there, you're losing your mind.
Yeah. You just gotta type in the same question as they gave you. It be like that
You
sometimes.
can't leave them, blank, like you didn't know.
Nah, you just type it in. What about this one? See that word completely right there? That means I want everything. I want the whole shebang. Right? So what should I do first?
Oh,
I rearrange it. What is it? Greatest common factor, right? And what is it? For what? 4x, right? And then what's left over? Very good. hmm -5, right? Remember, it's like you're dividing by 4x, dividing by 4x, dividing by 4x. That's how we got that, right? All right, now I have x squared plus 4x minus 5. Let's factor that out. You already know. So what's my signs gonna be? Positive and what? And negative. Good, good, good. Which one's gonna be the bigger number, the positive or the negative? The positive, right? Good. Because the b term is positive. So what are two numbers that multiply to give me 5? Five and 1, right? Right. So this is going to be +5, -1. That's it. This is my full answer right here. Yeah. With trinomial like this? Yeah. Oh shoot. Sorry about that. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. You have to multiply that out. That's a reverse. Yeah, that's a reverse. Yeah. Go ahead. Because I had to find the greatest common factor first. So same thing we did last class, but now we're kind of putting it all together. So I have a trinomial here, but there's a greatest common factor. Long story short, whenever you have a polynomial, you always look for the greatest common factor first, right? If there's no greatest common factor, go ahead and do the rest, right? If it's a trinomial with 3 terms, you do this. If it has 4 terms, you do the grouping that we did last time, and then that's it, right? If it has 2 terms, difference of two perfect squares, one positive, one negative, and then that's it. That's literally factoring in a nutshell. Mhm. You guys try. A little bit harder. You got a 5 instead of a 4. Good. I feel like that's a lot of orange. Right?
X.
X squared, okay. Plus 3x, good. Good. All right, finish it off. So my C term is negative. What does that mean? Plus and minus, good. Which one is gonna be the larger number? The plus, right? Because the B term is positive. It's 4 and 1. Very good. Questions on that? You good? We just factor it. Greatest common factor first, and then you have the quadratic after that. Just factor it the way you know how. No, that was the first factor, the greatest common factor, but it's not the complete factor, right? Because they want factor completely, so we have to keep going until we can't no more. It's a little funky, but when you like try it out, like it works, you know? Four numbers grouping. That was last week, right? Group the first two, group the last two. You have four terms. But let's check out something real quick though, right? So we spoke about when we have the trinomial and the A term is one. But what happens when we have a whole number here in the A term? That changes things, right? Now we have to learn a new method. This is called the AC method. So let me run it through with y'all real quick, and then we'll go deeper into it, right? So this is how you do the AC method, right? You're gonna do. Wait, before I even get into that, right? All the quadratics are of the form ax squared plus bx plus c. They all have this form, right? Using this particular question, the 6x squared plus 7x plus 2, somebody tell me what is A, what is B, and what is C? What's A? No, it's the number in front, 6, right? What's B? 7. And what's C? Excellent, right? So here's the AC method real quick, right? I'm going to take A, I'm going to multiply that by C, right? That's going to give me what? 6 times 2, which is 12. And my B term here, B, is 7, right? Now check this out. I want two numbers that when I multiply them together will give me a 12, but when I add them together will give me a 7. What do you guys think? Four and 3. Okay, let's look. 4 times 3, that's 12. 4 plus 3, that's 7. So that works, right? So now watch what I do here now, right? Take my first term, right? What's my first term? 6x squared. I'm going to rewrite the middle term. Rewrite the middle term. Instead of writing the 7x, I'm going to write down the factors that you told me, right? So this is going to be plus 4x plus 3x, right? And then bring down that last term, plus 2. All right? Now look, I got 4 terms here. You already know what's about to happen, right? I got 4 terms. I'm going to group them. Just like that, right? Greatest common factor between the 6x squared and the 4x is what? Not 3. 2 what? 2x, right? So I'm factoring out of 2x. But you know, whenever I factor out of 2x, like I'm dividing by 2x, like I'm dividing by 2x, right? So 6 divided by 2 is 3. X and the square will cancel out, leaving back just x. A positive divided by a positive is a positive. 4 divided by 2 is 2, right? And the x's will cancel. All right, now I'm looking at the second group right here, right? The one on the right, the 3x plus 2. What's the greatest common factor there? No, 1, right? And more specifically, positive 1, right? Remember that the sign, right? My leading coefficient is going to have the same sign as my factor, right? So it's 1, and then bring down the 3x plus 2.
Why is it one? Is it because two of those is-
Right. 1 goes into both of them. That's why. So now remember when we get to this step right here with the 4 terms, right? We do the greatest common factor again, which is the 3x plus 2. And then what's left over on the outside? 2x plus 1. And that's the factor for this. It's a way. I don't know. It's a mix. It's a mix.
My guys, I remember everybody was cheating.
And what they used to use.
And when they got to this,
Yeah.
it was over. Like, they had to take 15 minutes to do a
Yeah.
question.
Oh, make it
Math
smart.
right, so.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna learn some other techniques later on in here. Like we're gonna learn the quadratic formula and all of this. I'll be honest with you, I don't even like this method. I'm only showing y'all because I have to. You know? Be totally honest with you, like I didn't even learn this in high school. I learned this in BCC. Be honest with you. But I mean, it works. You know, so what can you do? Hold on a second. Wait, hold on. So everybody else could try. All right, go ahead. What you got? Mhm.
Minus 16. Minus 15.
What are you doing with this? Oh, you gonna factor it? Not 3A. Not grouping. This is 3 terms. You need 4 terms for grouping. Yeah. But it's not 3. What is it? What did I say? The sign of my leading coefficient, it's the sign of my factor. So what is it? What's my sign in the leading term? All right. So what is it? -3, right? And what else? What else do they have in common? A, right? -3A. And then remember, it's like you're dividing by -3A. Like you're dividing by -3A. Like you're dividing by -3A, right? And then -15 divided by -3 is 5AB, good. No, positive. And then negative divided by negative is a positive. And 6 divided by 3 is 2. A cancels out, B, right? And then negative divided by negative is a positive. And 15 divided by 3 is 5. And then the A's will cancel. So that's it. You're welcome. All right, sorry about that, everyone. All right, let's get back to this. So I want to use the AC method. All right. Before I even get to that, help me out. What is A? What is B? What is C? So I heard 6. Very good, right? So I want to do A times C, which is what?
12.
Good. And then my B term is 13. So what are two numbers that when I multiply them will give me a positive 12, but when I add them together, it will give me a positive 13? 1 and 12, right? So 1 times 12 is 12. 1 plus 12, that's 13. Let's rewrite this equation that I have up here. I have 6x squared, right? Always take my leading term. I'm going to use the factors that I found instead. So this is going to be plus 1x plus 12x plus 13, right? It does not matter the order that you put these in. I could have put the 12x first or the 1x. It doesn't matter. It'll still give you the right answer. You want to group these together, right? So we're going to have a left group and a right group. On our left group, I have 6x squared plus 1x. What's the greatest common factor there? That's 6. No. What do they have in common? No. Someone said it? Say it again.
Oh,
Would it? 1x, right? That's the factor right there. So it's like I'm dividing by x, like I'm dividing by x. So what's left over? Exactly. Now I'm looking at the 12x plus 13. Did I get that right? It's supposed to be 2. Ooh, where did that come from? Right? The last term is, you write that down there. Sorry about that. Anyway, back to the 12x plus 2. What's the greatest common factor there? 2, right? Positive or negative? Very good. Positive 2. Remember, when you factor out of 2, it's like you're dividing by 2. It's like you're dividing by 2. So 12x divided by 2 is x plus, right? 2 divided by 2? 1, good. After that, greatest common factor again. So I have the 6x plus 1. And what am I left with? X plus 2. Questions on this? Sure, sure. AC method. Awesome. How about this one? What should I do first here? Before that. What do I always look for first? Greatest common factor. What is it? 5, right? So I'm gonna factor 5 out here. What am I left with? What is it? 11. Y plus, what is that? 14. Very good. All right, remember, it's like you're dividing by 5. That's how we're getting these answers, right? So now, let's use that AC method, right? Help me out. What's A? What's B? What's C? No, A is what? 2. What's B? No, what's B? No, what's B? Negative 11. Very good. And what's C? Very good. All right. So now I want to do A times C, which is 2 times 14, which is what? 28. Excellent. And then my B term here is negative 11. So I need two numbers, and when I multiply them together, will give me a positive 28, but when I add them together, will give me a negative 11. All right? So right off the bat, we know they're both going to be what? Both numbers are going to be, no, not prime. They're going to be, no, two negatives. That's what it is. They're both going to be negative. Whatever number it is that we find. All right? So two numbers that multiply to 28, what are they? Like I said, if you, 7 and what? So like I said, right, if you don't know, go straight to the tree. We know that 2 times 14 is 28, right? That's where we came from. 2 is prime. Break down 14. 14 is what? 7 and 2, right? So all you got to do is play with those three numbers to get it. 7 and 4, all right? So negative 7 times negative 4. What's that? That's 28, right? And then negative 7 plus negative 4, negative 11. That's it, right? So now what do? We're going to rewrite this. So I'm going to have 5. I'm going to have 2y squared, but instead of the b term, I'm going to use the factors, right? So this is going to be what? Negative 7x minus 4x plus 14, right? And then what do? I have 4 terms here. We're going to group them, right? So I have a left-hand group and I have a right-hand group. On my left-hand group, what's the greatest common factor? Hold on one second. I forgot that we're dealing with y's right here. That's my mistake. Sorry about that. Let's try that again. So in my left-hand group, right? What's the greatest common factor there? Not 1. Forget the 5. Right? I'm just looking in the parentheses, right? What's the greatest common factor there? 2? No. No. I'm looking at the left-hand group. No.
Why?
Y, right? They both have y in common right here, right? So I'm going to factor out a y over here. And when I factor out a y, what's left over? 2y minus 7. Excellent. All right, now I'm looking at the right-hand group. That's the negative 4y plus 14. What's the greatest common factor there?
2. Or wait, 4.
You're close. Not 2. You're close, though. Negative 2. Now we're talking. Right? Because the sign of my leading coefficient is going to be the sign of my factor. Right? So we're going to have negative 2. It's like I'm divided by negative 2. Like I'm divided by negative 2. What's left over? Negative 4y divided by negative 2 is positive 2y. Good. And a positive divided by a negative is a negative, and 14 divided by 2 is excellent. All right. Do the greatest common factor one more time. I have the 2y minus 7. And then what's left over? Y minus 2. And that's it. All right. Questions on this? So the lesson here, greatest common factor before the AC method. All right. Mhm. Second. You guys try. I don't know if anybody wanted to take a picture of that last one, so I'll make it smaller for you to look. That's that. Alright. All right, let's knock this one out. All right, let's take a look. What should I do first? Okay, and what's the greatest common factor here? Okay. You said what? 4, very good. And what's left over? Very good. Plus 3, very good. All right. And what's next? A times C, okay, I'll take it. And what's A times C? 12, right? So 4 times 3, which gives me 12. And my B is -8, right? So what are two numbers that multiply to give me positive 12 but add up to -8? 6 and 2, right? So gonna be -6 times -2, which will give me a positive 12, and -6 plus -2 give me -8, right? Let's rewrite what we have. We have a 4 on the outside here. Don't worry about that. First term, 4x squared, right? Write down your factors, -6x minus 2x, and bring down the b term, which is +3. Close parentheses. Did I lose anybody? Are we good?
Let the watch this back.
All right, no problem. It's recorded. Watch it back. Yeah, sure, go ahead. It's our famous AC method. Not gonna lie to you, every time you guys get a trinomial, 3 terms, right? This method will work for all of them. So even if you didn't figure out the first method, this one method, this AC method works for all the trinomials. All of them. Go ahead.
So for this stuff that you, wouldn't we,
So when I notice that I have 4 terms, then I just group it. It doesn't matter if you wrote the 2x first, I mean the -2x, or you wrote the -6x first. That doesn't matter, right? All I'm doing is I'm just putting a line straight down the middle, and then I have a left side group and a right side group. That's all I'm doing. Yeah, you get the same answer doing whichever one first. Sometimes I'm even strategic where I'll be like, well, to me, 6 and 3 go together, and 2 and 4 go together. So sometimes I'll put them together like that. But more often than not, I'm just being lazy. Somebody said 6 first, and then somebody said 2 next. So that's why 6, 2. That's all. That's the only reason why I did that. You know? Yeah. No, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's probably smarter to do it the other way because they go together. You know, like they're factors of each other. So okay, we have 4x squared minus 6x. What's the greatest common factor there? It's what? 2x. Very good. So now when I factor out a 2x, what am I left with? Minus 3, right? Okay. All right. What about the second term? What's the greatest common factor there? No, not x. Close. -1. Now we're talking, right? Because the sign of my leading coefficient is the sign of my factor, right? So -1, right? What am I left with? Remember, it's like you're dividing by -1. Okay, divided by -1. 2x. What else? No, -3, right? Boom. And that's that, right? Let's do the greatest common factor one more time. So I have the 2x minus 3. And then what's left over on the outside? 2x minus 1. This whole thing right here, that's my answer. And that's it. Questions on this? I promise this will make more sense when you practice it a little bit more. Everybody good with the picture? Yeah, good. So I'm gonna be honest, I gave y'all all the sauce already, but somebody, I feel like it was you, asked for an easier way to do these, right? There are tricks, yes. Let's get into the tricks. Tricks are for kids. Right? So here goes our trick right here, right? When we have what's called a perfect square trinomial pattern, right? Perfect square trinomial pattern, right? This is if a and b are real numbers, then you're gonna have a squared plus 2ab plus b squared is equal to a plus b squared. And a squared minus 2ab plus b squared is equal to a minus b squared, right? You might have remembered this from a previous lesson, right? Let's talk about how that's gonna relate to here, right? And by the way, this is a shortcut. So if you're like thinking about something that you want to remember today and you want to forget this shortcut, remember the AC method, that's the one that works for everything. This only works in a very, very special case, which you're about to see. A very, very special case. Right? Woo! That's too big. Hold on. Sorry about that. Oh, that's not it. 1 second. All right, we good to go. So we want to factor perfect square trinomials, right? Some trinomials are perfect squares. They result from multiplying a binomial times itself. We squared a binomial using the binomial squares pattern in a previous chapter, right? So remember when we had a plus b squared, let's say like 3x plus 4 squared, it became 3x squared plus 2 times the a, which is 3x, times the b, which is 4, plus b squared, and then we did the math in the middle, multiplied them all together. 2 times 3, 6, 6 times 4, 24. So we have 9x squared plus 24x plus 16. So the trinomial 9x squared plus 24x plus 16 is called a perfect square trinomial. It is the square of the binomial 3x plus 4, right? So we're doing the reverse of last night's homework, right? Let's take a look. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
I mean, the one on Thursday. Yeah. We should start that off, right? Weekend homework.
That's very good.
We're like, yo, we're like, good morning, happy Saturday. Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at this real quick, right? So yes, I can use the AC method for this, and I will get the right answer using the AC method, right? But here's how this trick works, right? I have 9x squared plus 12x plus 4, right? We see that 9x squared and 4, they are perfect squares, right? They are perfect squares. So I can rewrite the 9x as what? 3x, right? Squared, of course. I can rewrite the 4 as what? 2 squared, right? And the b term, right? What's my b term here? Is positive, right? Plus, right? 2 times the a, what's the a term? 3x times the b term, which is what? 2. Right? You don't really need to do the middle. I'm just showing you guys something for the middle. But long story short, right? Hold on. I don't know why that happened. Long story short, right? My a term, remember this is a plus b squared. How did I know it was the plus? Because the b term was plus, right? The same b term was plus. That's how I knew that. Anyway, a plus b squared. What's my a? 3x. What's my b? Plus 2 squared. That's the answer. I'm done. That's the trick. All right? That's the trick. It's a perfect square, so you just plug them in and you square it. This is easy. But it's a trick though. It only works in a particular situation. The AC method, that's the truth, right? Remember that this means this, right? Anytime you have something squared, it's the same thing repeated, right? I'm gonna let you guys try one real quick. So after you take the test tomorrow, then I'll give back the test to the rest of the class, all right? No, 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 he missed it. Yeah.
I would say about the same, but I remember.
Nah, next week Thursday. Next week Thursday. Yeah.
So what happened with the score?
With the score, it wasn't the greatest, but it happens.
It wasn't the greatest score.
Yeah.
Just go write that one off.
I mean, y'all could do that. Y'all have that choice. Remember, it's the best 2 out of 3 tests. So, yeah. Tomorrow. Yeah, I'll get it back tomorrow. I graded it already. Yeah, y'all get it tomorrow.
Well, I guess they can't be worse than 7 or 5. I got 5.
You got a 5 once on a test? Oh man.
Last math class, I had no idea those things just throwing stuff up there. So you do this.
Nah, somebody did got a 0 though. I mean, it'd be like that though. Yeah. Nah, some people surprised me though. Like there was one person, they came up to me after the test, like, yo, this wasn't my best effort, right? And then like I'm grading the test, yo, the first page was immaculate. I was like, whoa, like yo, what are they talking about? Then the inside. It happens. All right, you guys try. Again, you could totally use the AC method and you'll get the right answer with this, but if you want to use a trick, go right ahead. It doesn't always work. Okay, that's good. Y'all can't say I ain't show y'all the trick. That's all. What I need to do is I need to figure out if I can upload like them scores on Brightspace. That'd be fire. That way y'all could at least know tonight what y'all got. I'll try to figure that out later tonight. If I don't, then y'all get y'all papers tomorrow. But if I do, then y'all know tonight what it is. Oh, y'all saw my announcement from last class about the Brightspace Pulse. It's an app that y'all should download on your phone. That way you could see whenever I send an upload what you call an announcement or anything like that. Right? I think it's really good for you guys to have it because this is not your only class that you're taking. You know, you're gonna have more classes in the future. So that could be really helpful. Right? Brightspace Pulse, it's called. Pulse.
Question.
Uh-huh.
You said 28 is easier.
Mhm.
It says I can take 28. I don't know why I'm not 28.
I mean, because you want to take the honors class, that's why.
This is how yeah, I knew someone was up on my ASAP advisor, like, I got you set up for she didn't set up a class, but I was like.
Yo, honors is the best. Honors is the best.
It probably has something to do with my
Nah,
schedule, because people who set up my schedule are also working the jobs.
Got you.
I hope, I don't know.
But tell you the truth though, I kind of like this class more, you know, because in 28 sometimes I'll get like certain questions like how do you do this or why is this the way it is, you know, and I don't have time to explain that.
Oh, it's shorter than this?
Yeah, so it's like all I could tell them is go to tutoring, you know. But here, like we started off with 1 + 1 is 2, and look where we are, you know, like that, like we have something to reference to build off of. Like in 28, you don't. You just got to come out like strong in that, you know.
I guess I got the 28 experience in my 28.5 class.
Yeah,
That was bad.
it is what it is. All right, what's the answer here, real quick? Y'all can just tell me. What is it? So 2x plus what? Very good. Squared. Very good. That's it. That's the answer. Hmm? Yep. It's the same thing. Again and again. No, this is the trick. But if you did the AC method, you should get the same answer. Yeah. The exact same answer. Only reason I'm going through this like a little quickly is because of time. That's why. How about this, real quick? What's the answer? Don't overthink it. 9y. Close, close, close. Almost there. -4 squared. How you know it was negative?
Usually when you say the opposite.
The B term is negative. That's why. That simple. All right. When the first term, the A term, and the C term are perfect squares, then it works. But the AC method works for everything. What's the answer? 8y minus 5 squared. That's beautiful. Sure. You're welcome. All right. So we pretty much got this trick unlocked, right? But just to make me feel good, right? Just so I can sleep tonight. How I do this? What's the answer? I'll give you a hint. Seven Y. Good. That's it. Yep. I'm gonna come in a little early at 12 tomorrow. I'm not on the schedule at 12, but y'all could show up at 12 if y'all want. In person, not online. Something in person. Oh, CPH, room 303. You know that building with the arch in front of it? You know where Colston Hall is, where they have financial aid registrar, the building right in front with the arch in front. Yeah, it's a great arch. Right, you just walk underneath there, third floor. That's where I'll be in the tutoring lab. All right. Help me out. What's the answer? So I heard 7x. Very good. That's it. Not bad, not bad, not bad. All right, just one more, one more, one more, one more. Just so I feel good. Just so I feel good. How about this? What we got? 25? What am I supposed to do first before I even start doing all this? Right. What's the greatest common factor there? 10, no. No. 4. What? No. 4 what? For Y. Very good. What's left over? X what? Uh-huh. Minus 20x. Good. Good. Excellent. So now we got the greatest common factor out here. What's my answer? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just look at the parentheses. 5x what? Minus what? Not 4. What times what is 4? 2. This is my answer. All right. So you find your greatest common factor first, then you can use a trick. All right. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Let me give y'all a little bit of an easier one. Try that out. What's my greatest common factor there? 2, okay. 2y, good. What's left over? Not 12. So I heard 4x squared. No, 12 x, very good. All right, what's the final answer? Very good. That's the answer. Questions? Again, if this trick is confusing, AC method. All right. I promise you it'll work. Might take a couple more seconds, but it'll work. All right. All right, let's get into one last topic real quick. The difference of square pattern. Oh my God, this is even easier. All right. If A and B are real numbers, right? Then we have A squared minus B squared is equal to A minus B times A plus B, right? The difference, when you hear the word difference, I'm talking about the minus sign in between them, right? And A and B, they're going to be perfect squares, right? Over here, their factors are called conjugates, right? Conjugates are like opposites, right? One is A minus B, one is A plus B. Long story short, let's look at what we're talking about right here. I don't want this to pop for you guys, so look. Let's say I have A minus B times A plus B, right? That's gonna be like 3x minus 4 times 3x plus 4, right? If we were to distribute this out, we know that this would become what? 3x squared minus the b squared, right? Which is 4 squared. The middle terms, you know that they would knock out, giving us the 9x squared minus 16. Okay. Obviously, you know, I want to go in reverse, right? I want to go from the bottom to the top with this. So let's take a look at, let's look at an example. Oh my gosh. That is too simple. Too simple, too simple right here. Check this out, right? This is going to be, you already know the factors are going to be like this, right? We know that one is going to be a plus, one is going to be a minus because it's the difference of two perfect squares, right? 64y squared, what is that going to get broken down to? What times what? 8, what? No, 8 times, what's the variable? 8y, right? 8y and 8y. And what times what is 1? 1 and 1, done. That's it. Light work. All right? There's light work right here. All right? Because you remember that 64 is what? It's the 8y squared minus the 1 squared. That's how we get these two factors right here. Easy, 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 easy. Matter of fact, it's so easy, I feel like I could give y'all a harder question. You guys try. This joint got an M in it. Oh, man. So I heard 11M minus 1. That's a part of it. What's the other answer? Great. It was really good. Really good. But still, though, right? Just to make me feel good. What's the answer here? I have 144 x squared minus 49 y squared. Okay. Very good. I am impressed. Not gonna lie. By the way, this is the kind of crap that they do in 28. It is. So you see, your next test is gonna be really easy compared to this past test.
You said the last one was easy, but I forgot everything we did.
Nah, that first test was the hardest test you're gonna have the whole semester. Yeah. All right, how about this? I know I got y'all with the 196. What's that? Woo! 13, what? Hmm? It's 14? All right, 14. I don't even know. I feel like it's 13. Might be wrong though.
Yeah, don't need those.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So what is it? Okay. See, I done forgot the variable already. M minus 5n. All right. All right, let's look at this one. Let's look at this one. Let me see who paying attention today. What we do here just got real. Yeah. What we do here. What we supposed to do first? Greatest common factor. Good. What is it? Something Y. Okay. Y what? Hmm? What do they both have in common? Y squared. Okay. And what about the number? Is what? 12? 12 goes into 243? I don't even know. I'm about to check right now. 243 divided by 12. Nope. Start even more basic than that. 3. All right. So let's see. We got the 48 divided by 3. What's that? That's 16 right there, right? So I got the 16 x to the 4th power minus, what's 243 divided by 3? 81. If you're wondering how did I even know that that would be divided by 3 or whatever, right? That. So 243, if you add up all those numbers together, what do you get? So 2 plus 4 plus 3 is 9, right? 9 is divisible by 3, right? Therefore, 243 is divisible by 3. Right? Yeah. That's one of them little matrix, you know? Anyway, back to what we were doing before, right? We got the greatest common factor out, 3y squared. You already know. Help me out. What's this? Not 16. What times what is 16? Not 8. 4. What? 4x. 4x squared? What the hell? Hold on, sorry. Microsoft be tripping. All right, 4x squared plus 9. Okay, and what is the other one? That's excellent. That's excellent. Right? So now I'm not even done. I mean, y'all realize that, right? I gotta factor this one right here. Because that's a difference of two perfect squares right there. All right, so let's bring down what we got. You see this first one right here? The 4x squared plus 9, that's a sum of two perfect squares. We cannot factor the sum of two perfect squares. We factor the difference of two perfect squares. Difference being minus. So 4x squared minus 9, what's that? 2x, good. That's 3. What else? Excellent. This whole thing is my answer. All of that. Right? And that's factored completely. All right, you guys try. A little bit harder, but I think y'all could get it.
Just a little bit, right?
Yeah, just a smidge. Smidgen. My fault updating your homework so late. I'm gonna do it after class.
Take this whole part off the test.
That's the easy part.
See, we saying it's the easy part. We talking about the test ain't gonna be easy. What's the hard part?
Promise you, like this is half a test two right here. By the way, guys, I don't know if you a lot of y'all know this, but for me to upload this right to YouTube, it takes time. So I'm really here like an hour after class. So if anybody wanted to stay later, do some homework, y'all are welcome to do that. You know? I mean, still go to tutoring. I'm not saying you don't go to tutoring, but no. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at this real quick. So what do I do first? Good, good. So I heard 2 what? Y squared, very good. And what's left over? Good. Let's factor that out. What do I have? Good. Excellent. All right, am I done? No, right? I can still keep going. So I got 2y squared, x squared plus 4 times what? Exactly. This whole thing here is the answer. Questions on this? Yeah.
The easy part, don't worry about
It is. Yeah. Go ahead.
it.
Because that's the sum of two perfect squares. We can't break up the sum, right? We can only break up the difference, the minus, the one with the minus. That's it. So real quick, I want to give y'all some notes. What? So, you're gonna ask something? Gotcha. All right, real quick. This is the last thing. I just want to give y'all some notes. I feel like this might be helpful. This is kind of just putting everything together for us, right? So binomial, remember, is 2 terms. Trinomial, 3 terms, right? Polynomial, more than 3. 4, 5, 6, 8, whatever, polynomial, right? For a binomial, when we have the difference of two perfect squares, difference meaning minus, right? You have the a squared minus b squared is equal to a minus b times a plus b, right? Remember I was talking to you about the sum of squares, right? Sum of squares we cannot factor. When there's a plus sign in the middle, can't factor that, right? And then we have some other stuff here, sum of cubes and difference of cubes. Don't even worry about that. This is trash. We're not using that, right? Maybe y'all could use that for fun like a couple years in the future, but not now. All right. Trinomial. Now we're talking about what? 3 terms, right? 3 terms. So we have x squared plus bx plus c, where we have the factors of x times x, and you just find the 2 numbers that multiply to the c but add up to the b. Or use the AC method, right? If all you remember from today with the trinomials is the AC method, I'm happy. You can live with that. AC method works for everything, right? We also have the tricks, right? So when we have the perfect squares on the A and the C, then we could use these tricks with the A plus B squared, A minus B squared. AC method, of course. And then remember, when you have more than 3 terms, we use grouping, right? Group the first 2, group the last 2, that's it. All right? All right, that's it for today. Not today. Can I?
You gotta bring the phone.
I got you. Can I stop this, or is anybody still copying? No, not today. I can stop this, everybody? This is good? Yeah, I'll see you. Hold on one second.